Good morning, everyone. Sorry for coming on a few minutes late. I'm having technical difficulties again this week. I was trying to get my mini cam to work so that I would be able to talk to you face to face first and then get started with my live video, but that didn't work out this morning. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm going to have to play around with it a bit and see if I can get this working again. But in any case, I'm on this morning and you guys can at least see my desk to see the card that I'm going to be creating today. Good morning, Janice. So I have a colleague at work who is expecting a little one and has just let us know recently. So I'm going to be using this beautiful stamp set, Wonderful Moments, to create a card for her expected little one. Now this is such a beautiful stamp set. It is retiring, and I always have trouble with it because the images on the front make everything look so small, but when you actually open this stamp set up, the images are actually quite a nice size, and they actually take up 2 sheets inside the case. So I always have trouble kind of envisioning when I'm just looking at the image on the front because everything's so tiny. So I have chosen from the kit today the stamp set of the mom with her belly, and then the sentiment that says looking forward to meeting your new little miracle. But this is really a great stamp set for anything. We've got the beautiful bride there with the for the bride and congratulations and best wishes for a future filled with love and happiness. Some happy birthday sentiments. The woman here who can be holding balloons or flowers or a gift, like a gift bag. So lots of stuff, dream come true, and the little things you do make the world a whole lot better. Some really, really beautiful sentiments in this stamp set. So I'm quite sad that this one's going to be retiring, but it is what it is. So for today, to get started, I am going to grab just a piece of scrap Whisper white paper. Oh, Janice, you know what? Last night I got the order that has your pens in it. Was it last night or the night before? And since then I've received none of my orders. They are all supposed to arrive yesterday by end of day, and they did not, except for one. My most recent order is supposed to arrive on Thursday at end of day. It's getting a little frustrating. I know that it's, just a combination of delays at the warehouse and delays at UPS and stuff, but it's still a little bit frustrating. I'm starting to see why some people expedite orders. But that's okay. It gives me more time to play with the things that I have instead of getting distracted with new stuff. So, all right. So I have used some black Memento ink. Oh, darn it. And I got some on the paper, but I think that'll actually get cut off because I'm going to use my stitched layered, or my stitched shapes. I'm going to use the oval to cut that out. But before I do that, I'm actually going to grab a piece of vellum. This vellum has been cut at 2.5 by 5, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. You could use StazOn ink or Memento. I'm going to use Memento, and it just means I have to let it sit a little bit longer to kind of dry, which is why I'm going to stamp it now right at the very bottom. And I'm going to let that sit so that I don't smudge it. Oh, wow, yours is in Richmond already? Okay. But the 20th? Today's the 13th. 7 days? That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that our paper pumpkins are being shipped by FedEx because they seem to be having less delays. Because my paper pumpkin is supposed to be here by Thursday. So, I don't know. All right, so I'm going to cut this out using those stitched shapes. Now, some of you may have seen the stitched shape dies on the retiring list. Do not panic. These are not going anywhere. The stitch shape dies are on there because we're changing our manufacturer, and as a result, they're going to be changing the numbers of these items in the catalog, so they want to use up the old ones with the old numbers, so they're on the retiring list. And the product itself, though, will still be available to us, so don't worry. There we go. Well, let's hope that it arrives before the 20th, because that's a bit crazy. All right, so I'm going to pop this off, set that to the side. All right. So yes, Janice, when the paper pumpkin arrives, then I'll get in touch with you and make arrangements so I can drop off those pens for you and the paper pumpkin all in one go. And then, yeah, I'm super excited about the new paper pumpkin coming out as well. I think I'm going to grab a few extras of that one. It looks super cute with the sunshine. All right, now to finish up this card, well, finish it up, keep going on it, I am going to grab a piece of Pool Party cardstock. So this was cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and then scored at 4 1/4. That's to create my card base. Then I have cut a piece of, this is that Parisian paper, and this is retiring. Good morning, Danielle. I've cut a piece of this Parisian paper at 5.5, so it goes top to bottom on my card, and 3 inches, and that's so that I can get 2 pieces out of one 6 by 6 square, because I've got, I just got like a sampler, and so I got a 6 by 6 piece of this. And so I wanted to be able to make 2 cards with this. So that's just going to layer on there. But before I do that, I'm going to attach my vellum and a ribbon to this. So the vellum was cut at 5 by 2.5 so that I would have a nice 1/4 inch border around the whole thing. I'm going to use some snail to attach this. Now, some people like to completely hide their snail so that you can't see where this was down, but I want to use just a tiny bit of this up in the top and bottom corners as well, just so that it stays flat. I'm using just a really little amount. Oh, I've got messages coming in from work, even though today's my day off. That is definitely a downfall to being part-time, but in an online teaching world, is that even though I don't work on Wednesdays, I hear all the work chatter on Wednesdays. So I use the snail, and I just use tiny little bit in each of the corners, and you can see it's pretty much not visible. So kind of nice. Oh, how am I going to turn off those notifications? That's awful. Sorry guys, I'm just going to play here for a second and see if I can turn down. Hopefully that didn't turn you guys down too low. So I'm going to move this and... Okay, notifications are off. All right, sorry guys. I didn't expect work chatter to start up. Okay, there we go. All right, so you can see here that that snail that I put, just the little dabs in the corner, is barely visible. So I think that that's going to be fine, and it's going to keep my card kind of laying more flat. Now, before I attach this to my card front, I am going to grab a little bit of... this is the Whisper White seam binding, and or crinkle, what is it? Okay, now I am using the last piece on my roll. Oh, it's the crinkled seam binding ribbon. This is the very last piece on my roll, so it's got the tape attached to it that attached it to the ribbon, to the roll. I am waiting for this to come back in stock. It is out of stock right now, and it is in the new catalog, so I'm not too concerned. I know it will come back, but anxiously awaiting for its return. So I'm going to flip my paper over because I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back side of this ribbon, and I don't want to get my work surface all sticky. So this way, any excess snail just is on the back of this piece of DSP, and will just get glued down to my card later, so I don't have to worry about my surface being all sticky. So I'm just going to tuck those ends under like that. And now with that tucked under, I'm going to take my very last piece This is it. There's no more until it comes back in stock. I'm going to tuck that under, and then I'm going to make 2 bunny ears. Wrap them around each other. Come on. And then fiddle with it until it all lays the way I want it to. So that's going to create like a little bow here for me on the side. I do want to keep this off to the side because I have got my image that I'm going to color and stick to the front of this card. Pop that around. So, okay, I'm going to start again because that's just not laying the way I want it to. I think I'm going to actually tie a knot first. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how this is laying, but I want it to lay kind of sideways so that it doesn't interfere with my image. So I'm going to just pop that under and see how that, oh, that's much better. Okay, now that's going to be the way I want it. So I wanted this one to just kind of go like in an up and down motion. I can actually turn this a bit so that it works a bit better. Yeah, Janice, that new paper pumpkin with all of the yellow and everything, I can't wait to see the cards. And I love the idea that they're including labels so that we can repurpose those boxes, because I do enjoy repurposing the boxes, even the red ones. But it's nice that they're actually going to provide us the label this time to be able to do that. All right, so now I'm going to trim up these edges because although I want them a little bit long, I don't want them covering up too much of my image. Okay, come on. There we go. You do need pretty sharp scissors when you're cutting this seam binding, otherwise it will fray on you. So make sure you're using good scissors when you're doing that. All right, so with that part done, I'm going to glue this to my card front now. So let's come in here. All right. So I'm kind of thankful for the rain today, taking a little break from working on our yard. We've been leveling the yard by hand so that we can put up our new above ground pool. And it's been a lot more work than I thought it would be. And I'm very, very thankful for Noah, who's doing most of it. But yeah, today with the rain, we're going to take a little break, have a little bit of downtime inside. I'm a little disappointed because, you know, it's my day off, so I was hoping to get it kind of finished today, but also a little bit happy that means maybe I have more time in my stamp room today. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side and bring down our image. So I want the hair to be a little bit light. So I'm going to start with my light daffodil. Now I recognize that, you know, nobody has light daffodil colored hair. Maybe Alice in Wonderland in the Disney version. But what I love about this is starting with that light daffodil, I can then come in with my light crumb cake and make this hair color a lot more realistic by adding in those kind of brown tones and still having that nice yellow color showing through. So come through with my crumb cake, and there we go. And so it just softens it up without turning it into brown hair. Okay, so that's how I kind of achieve that, that blondish look. For the skin, I'm going to grab my ivory blend and pop in there. And I like the ivory because it's kind of just a neutral tone. It just, you know, leaves the skin not stark white, but it kind of, once you get everything else colored in, is kind of like a non-color. Then I'm going to use Pool Party, and I'm going to start with my dark. I tend to start with my darks when I'm using blends, and I'm just going to accent the belly there and the back. And then I'm going to grab my light Pool Party and blend everything in. Okay, so I want the belly here to be the focus, so it is a lot darker. color the back. There. All right. So that's our image all colored in with our blends. Now I'm going to grab some dimensionals and pop them on the back of this. A couple at the top and a couple at the bottom. I'm going to avoid that ribbon area. There we go. And peel those off. Okay. Pop that on. I love the pool party for baby cards, especially when it's, you know, pre-baby and we don't know gender, because I find that the pool party is one of my favorite colors, so definitely feminine, but also it has that tinge of blue to it, so you know, it could be a baby boy card if the person happens to know the gender. All right, now I am going to finish this off just with one of my favorite embellishments, which is these self-adhesive sequins. Now these are the gingham gala ones, and they have a little bit of a shimmer to them, and I'm just going to pop them kind of around like that, and there we go. And so those are returning. We do have some fun colors coming in with the self-adhesive sequins, but for now I'm using up my old stock, so those are the gingham gala ones, and there is our finished card. So you could literally take any of the stamp sets from that Wonderful Moments set and create a card with this same layout, but instead just substitute, like, take the woman here. You'd need a slightly larger shape, so maybe one of the layering ovals from another set just to make a slightly larger oval, or, you know, have her standing there but with her feet out of the picture kind of thing. And then put in the bouquet or that gift bag into her hand in a different sentiment. And our bride as well, you'd probably want to put her on a circle, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of her dress, but you could put her on a circle cutout and add her to the center, and then your sentiment at the bottom. So it's a really versatile layout for using with this Wonderful Moments stamp set. So that is today's card. I hope you guys liked that. You will probably see me later this week because my paper pumpkin should be arriving, so I'll be popping on to do a video of that. And also watch, because the West Coast Creators is doing their first ever blog hop tomorrow. So, or tomorrow or the 15th, I can't remember. One of those is our deadline for having it posted, and then the next day is when it's happening. So yeah, West Coast Creators is doing their first ever blog hop, and I do have a card entry in there. I also have a card entry in Kylie Bertuzzi's blog highlights. She's a demonstrator from Australia. And so if you guys want to pop onto my blog at stampinwithleah.ca, you'll see all the info there on how you can go and vote for me. She only publishes the top 10 from the highlights into her actual blog hop. So I'd love your vote if you'd like to check that out. And there's some beautiful cards entered, so great inspiration. Thanks, Ruth. So yeah, those two, the Kylie's highlights is already up, and then my West Coast Creators blog hop is either tomorrow or the next day that it will go live. So pop by my blog at stampinwithleah.ca and check that out. And of course, if you want to order anything that you've seen today, you can go to my website, leahdixon.stampinup.net, and place an order that way. And don't forget to use the hostess code so you get a little freebie from me. Or you can just contact me and I can key in an order for you. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much, Tracy. Glad you could pop in. And I'll see you as soon as my paper pumpkin arrives. Bye.